The United States wants to make the next era of lunar exploration bigger, faster and also more cost-efficient, and it aims to build a base on the moon, and for that NASA wants ISRO to be on board. And the reasons are pretty clear. India has built its space program around exactly that formula, and most importantly, it has already shown the world how to reach the moon at a fraction of a cost, in fact, less than the budget of a film. To sum it up in a nutshell, India has in fact got more done, it has spent less, and above all, it also accomplished the mission successfully, making India and ISRO extremely lucrative. The NASA's moon-based program invitation to ISRO is aimed at establishing a lasting human presence near the moon's southern pole by establishing humanity's first outpost, one that could prepare for crewed missions to Mars and also drive lunar scientific breakthroughs. The invitation came during the 9th meeting of the India-US Civil Space Joint Working Group in Bengaluru. And US Ambassador Sergio Gore has called it a step towards deepening the US-India deep space partnership, and Chandrayaan-3 explains why. In 2023, ISRO landed safely near the lunar South Pole, a historic first with a mission that cost roughly about $75 million. Cheaper did not mean smaller. The mission delivered a landmark result, and it demonstrated the core strength of India's space model engineering at a very frugal cost, fast execution and the ability to turn limited resources into global scale achievements. And that is exactly the kind of partner that NASA perhaps needs at this moment, because a moon base is not just one mission. NASA envisions a permanent, habitable outpost where astronauts can live, work and also conduct scientific research for extended periods of time. The base would be built through a series of crewed and uncrewed missions with habitats, power systems, rovers and cargo operations developed over time. China also has a similar lunar ambition, targeting a crewed moon landing before 2030 and the construction of an international lunar research station at the moon's south pole, running directly in a competitive space race alongside NASA's Artemis program. And the development comes at a time when India is also building its first national space station, the Bharatiya Antariksh Station, with the first module planned for launch by the year 2028 and full completion targeted by the year 2035. Now, India's maiden human spaceflight targeted for 2027, and to ensure that Gaganyaan becomes a sustained space exploration mission. And ISRO is also reportedly establishing a crew isolation facility and astronaut quarters in Sriharikota, where future astronauts will be trained and equipped for space travel. Now, it is important to note that the location near the lunar South Pole for the outpost is strategic. Scientists believe permanently shadowed craters there contain water, ice, a potential source for life support and even future fuel production. Some elevated areas also receive near continuous sunlight, making them valuable for solar power. But a permanent presence comes with a permanent bill. Habitats, power, rovers, cargo, life support, science and crewed flights all have to work again and again. And every mission will cost money, every failure comes at a high price, and that is where ISRO's experience could become a strategic asset. India has shown that it can build, launch and also operate complex space missions without the budget of the world's biggest space powers. It's also shown resilience. Chandrayaan-2 ended in partial success in 2019. 4 years later, Chandrayaan-3 landed. NASA likely sees ISRO as a partner that brings technological sophistication, but also something just as important for a long-term moon program: cost discipline and proven success. And just for perspective, as of 2024, NASA reportedly operates with an annual budget of approximately $25 billion, whereas ISRO functions on about $1.6 billion, meaning ISRO's annual funding is roughly 6% of NASA's total yearly allocation. ISRO could also bring its experience in cost-effective mission design, reliable launch services and lunar science, while in return gaining access to advanced expertise in habitats, life support systems, in situ resource utilization and deep space operations. Now, India's participation would also push ISRO from robotic lunar exploration towards a role in sustained human presence on the moon. So the next space race may not be won simply by the country that can spend the most. It will be won by the countries that can actually achieve the most with the least.